Hey everybody, it's Brent Lee, and I just want to talk a little bit about some of the changes you can expect from the VIP and open demo weekends for the launch of Anthem come February 22nd. And lucky enough for me, one of my favorite authors on Polygon, Ryan Gilliam, put together a 19 changes from the demo to the live game. So he took to Twitter and found some of those questions that we were asking the developers and got their answers. So here's 19 things you can expect when the game launches. So the first thing is voice chat with strangers will be on by default. So if you went into, say, free play solo and the other players that were there, you couldn't talk to them. So now when the game launches, that will be on by default. So whether you're in a team with your friends or you're in a team with some randoms, keep in mind, voice chat will be active. You'll be able to talk to them. Of course, you might get those randoms that want to talk smack while you're trying to play, but you also have the ability to mute them. So expect that. Now the next thing, and I know I've seen videos on this already, but squad location and status will be easy to find. So if you remember in one of my previous videos, over in that left middle area, it will have like a little status bar of your friends and like a little radar of where they're at. We didn't get that during the VIP or the open demo. That will be in game at launch. You'll be able to see where your friends are and see their health as well, as if they need help. Because I remember in the demo, if I went down, and I'm with my friends, I could call out, "Hey man, I'm down. This is where I'm at." But playing with randoms, it took a while for them to realize I was down and where to find me at. All right, number 3. And this is for those people on console and those Destiny players out there. How many of you were pushing down on that left thumbstick to run faster when you were at Fort Tarsus? Yeah, it didn't happen. You kept walking the same speed. Well, at launch, walking around Fort Tarsus will be faster. Can't wait. Now, a lot of people were asking, especially those on like Xbox and PS4, what is the frame rate for Anthem? And having a PS4 Pro and playing in 4K, I was hoping for 60 frames per second, but that's not going to be the case. We will be locked in at 30 frames per second on console. Alright, number 5. So if you're playing in a squad, with a group of your friends, and you want to promote somebody to a leader, you can do that. So at launch, you'll have the ability to promote somebody on your squad to a leader position. Number 6, so all those components and weapons that had 0% on the inscriptions, that will be fixed, and it will read or display correctly at launch. So no more 0% for bonus. You'll actually have a number there for your drops. So this next piece I was very interested in finding out about, which was the primer and detonator abilities will be more clear. So I was doing some builds, and I planned on doing some videos on this and posting them up later, but there were definitely some issues for what was considered a primer and what was considered a detonator, and using lists that I found online didn't always work out, so I wasn't getting that combo that I expected. But yes, at launch, primer and detonator abilities will be more clear. Alright, number 8, it'll be easier to see underwater. Now I didn't have this issue in some cases, but other cases where if we were in a cave and we had to go into the water, it did get a little difficult to see underwater. So they are working on that, and that will be available at launch. You'll be able to see better underwater. Now this next piece I can definitely agree with here is inscriptions will be for the correct javelin each time. I did get drops that were that I got on my Ranger or my Storm, but they were for an Interceptor or a Colossus, and I hadn't started one of those yet. So whatever javelin you're on, you should have inscriptions that are made specifically for that javelin when the game does launch. I didn't think this next piece was an issue, but apparently there's still some confusion out there. But one of the new javelins will be unlocked after the game's tutorial. So when you start the game on February 22nd, you get the Ranger. As soon as that tutorial is done, you get to pick your next javelin, whether it be the Storm or Interceptor or Colossus or whatever it is. But that will be your choice as soon as the tutorial portion is over. So number 11, weapon and ability balance has changed. So what this means is the weapons and the abilities that we used during the demo may be more or less powerful when the game launches. Now, crafting items and materials will not be purchasable for real money. There were plenty of materials out in the real world. I had no issues finding them and using them to craft stuff. So shouldn't be an issue, and they're not going to offer materials for you to purchase in-game, so no microtransactions there. Number 13, game performance will be improved. Now, this applies to both console and PC players. I know some PC players had a hard time getting this game to stay at 60 frames per second, and so it states here that, as with the frame rate on console, players should expect a more stable game once Anthem is officially released. And so they have worked on it, have been working on it, and I don't know if they're done working on it but by launch, frame rate stability and everything else should be good to go. Alright, number 14, and this is for those players out there that during the Stronghold you grabbed an Echo and didn't know what to do with it, and then you just kind of took off away from your actual agenda. Yeah, that's not going to happen. So players won't be able to hold on to Echoes indefinitely, so they're going to put a fix in place that will take care of that. And I think that is where, if you hold the Echo for a certain amount of time and you don't go and deposit it, it's just going to dematerialize and go back to where it was, and then we should be good to go and actually finish the Stronghold mission. Now, this next change that we can expect is screen size can be adjusted. I know a buddy of mine we were playing with, he could not see the load bar at the very top of the screen, and he was not able to adjust the screen to bring that in. So that will be fixed, or has been fixed, and ready for launch. You'll be able to adjust the screen and get everything in view on your TV, monitor, whatever display you're using. Alright, number 16 on the list is the launch bay will be a new social hub. So some of you may or may not have seen this, but there's going to be a launch bay social hub area at Fort Tarsis. This is, when the full game is released, squads will be able to return to the launch bay, and you can go on adventures together here. So while not all the details have been revealed, this is a kind of a less story focused, more social area for players to launch missions from. Now, if you played the demo and you went in and started customizing your Javelin, you got to see all the different textures and the different vinyls, stuff like that, don't worry. All that will be available at launch, and it's all earnable in-game. So you can earn it on different missions and doing strongholds and stuff like that. But you can also use the in-game currency to purchase those items. So you don't necessarily have to use real money for a microtransaction, which you do have that option, but it is all earnable in-game. Alright, number 18. Enemies shouldn't evaporate anymore. Yeah, we had this issue during the VIP demo, and I did run into it a couple times during the open demo, where we'd be shooting a Scar or one of the animals out there, one of the creatures or whatever, in free play, and all of a sudden it would just disappear. Well, we're not going to have that anymore at launch. It has been fixed. Alright, and last but not least, number 19, factions to work for. So Mike Gamble post here, the Arcanist, Freelancers, and Sentinels represents the factions currently. So this is as of February 3rd in Anthem. So doing missions, making conversational choices, and doing free play events will give you specific points for each faction. So getting those points applies to challenges, which unlock crafting blueprints and other goodies. They also change the look of your personal Fort Tarsis. So at launch, the factions will be available, and you get points for that, and you get to unlock more cool stuff. So expect that. All right, well, that is going to do it for me from demo to launch. What are some of the changes you can expect? If more comes up between now and February 22nd, I will definitely communicate that and do another video. But until then, I will talk to you next time.